It's Sunday and you're on the go.
At noon, it's time to slow.
'Cause everybody that you know is
watching.
The Jeff and Katie Show.
The Katie and Jeff
No,
Show.
the Jeff and Katie Show.
The Katie and Jeff.
No, the Jeff and Katie Show.
Maybe it's commutable.
It's simply irrefutable.
No matter what, we know that you'll be watching.
The Jeff and Katie Show.
The Katie and Jeff
The
Show.
Jeff and Katie Show.
The Katie and Jeff Show. Commutable.
Refutable.
Disputable.
Delusional.
No matter what, we know that you'll be watching.
The Jeff and Katie Show.
And James.
Oh, look who's here.
Look who
It's
it
James
is.
Kaplan.
It is.
I didn't even notice you over there.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I was just
Yeah.
trying to sneak in under you.
Yeah. No, I heard the piano.
Oh,
and I thought I
okay.
was playing it.
Oh, yeah.
That's delusional, see?
Oh, right.
Well, welcome, James Kaplan.
There's more to that song live. I never really thought about the delusional part till
just now.
Until you can really sense his delusionality.
Yeah, that's right.
like
My
the
delusional.
vibe.
That's
really
why I
comes
wrote that
through.
lyric.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Now, it's interesting. Katie and I were noticing yesterday that this is the first time in a year since we've been doing this show. And how many episodes have we done, Katie Dahl?
26 or something.
Something like that. This is the first time we've ever done it without plexiglass between us, and we've never really heard one another acoustically with those harmonies.
No.
So it was kind of confusing at first.
It's sort of like I'm a harmony singing is not my strongest point, and I found the plexiglass awesome because I was in just my own little echo
Shower.
chamber. I wasn't distracted by
Yeah.
like the other that annoying melody, I
That-
just
the
had
anno- yeah, that annoying melody. Yes, exactly. So something else besides James being over there at the piano playing from the last segment that we did, which was at 11 o'clock, is Katie Dahl. Do you know? Like if you had to do a comparison picture.
Is this like my son was doing this morning? He was using Highlights magazine. He had to find all the differences.
Yeah, there you go.
Something else is different. Oh, Jeff changed his shirt.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm in my blue shirt now. That's right, instead of my dark maroon.
Right.
And it reminds me that this was the very color that I wore when we did the show a year ago.
Oh, I was thinking about my outfit for the show a year ago too. I considered that dress, and then I thought, no, I wore that a year ago.
I considered it and I wanted to wear it, but I couldn't find it.
My dress?
I could not find your dress for sure. No, I couldn't find my blue shirt.
Oh, but now this isn't it?
No, we are at the Gould Theater, so that allows us the luxury of being able to walk down the hall to the costume shop and pull things from the rack. So I was able to find a similar blue shirt.
Amazing.
To the one that I couldn't find in my own wardrobe because everything in my wardrobe is now in boxes and under tarps until we get moved into the new house. So. Like that.
Jeff has taken up camping in the pandemic.
I was going to ask, is there a section of the costume shop that's like Jeff Herbst size? It's all kind of
Well, it's interesting because I was
isolated.
down there looking in the Jeff Herbst size, and Molly Rohde very, quickly came down and said, I know just the shirt. It was the Alex Campia shirt, which is what I'm wearing, but we are the same size. So
nice.
it's sort of a horse apiece.
I mean, there are sort of like a weird number of you. Like, I mean, there's also John Heggie shirts
Oh,
that
the
would
Giants?
fit you. I mean, yeah,
the
like
Northern
I mean,
Sky Giants.
right,
Yeah.
right, and then like
That's true.
Yeah.
It's true. That's true. Like, how many companies have that many 6'4" men doing musical theater on their stage?
I would like to know the statistics.
Oh, the number
Somebody
is-
out there.
one.
One.
Oh, we know the answer already, Katie Dahl.
Well, math.
Stats
Speaking
are-
of math, everyone, we have some new math since last time.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
What was our goal initially?
$60,000.
And where did we start?
35. Well, we started at 0, but then you people generously
Hey.
got us to
35.
35. That's where we were at 11.
At 11. And where are we now? Just 1 hour later.
40.
Wow, that's amazing. And so what does it mean then with the matching gift that we have from the Krauses if we are able to get to, what was their match?
Their match was for $10,000.
Okay, and we've got 5 of that.
Yeah.
If you add another 5, that doesn't just get you 10 total more, it gets you
15. So
Yeah.
in this case, 5 equals 15.
5 equals
That's
15.
my math.
That's the math.
Yeah.
Has your head exploded yet, people?
Yeah. Also, team, we have some sponsors to thank today, and 2 of them are with us right now
Oh, that's
in
amazing.
the studio, as it were, and that's Susan Crawford and Jeffrey Roseman. We want to festively adulate you and thank you so much for
Adulations. Thank you guys very much.
yay.
It's so good to see you. It's so good to have our Northern Sky family back together, isn't it? Doesn't it feel wonderful? Are you looking forward to the summer? Yes. Are you going to be volunteering as always? Have you been already? Jeffrey is one of the Tuesday crew, and he's, well, both of them are ambassadors for the theater company and have been for years. And we thank you so much for everything that you are to the Northern Sky family. You guys are great. Yeah, yeah, I know. There's a lot to do. After being shut down for a year, you know, I mean, that amphitheater needed a lot of tending to, didn't it? Yes, much.
Yeah.
Is
To
there
say
still
the
a
least.
tradition of a large order of wood chips being
Oh,
delivered?
there's always
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
I like the idea of it as a tradition, like it's like it's like
The
a
ritual.
non-functional ritual, like the communion of the wood chips.
It could be both.
Yeah.
Now, James Kaplan, we have you on today because you are involved, have been historically with the company for many, many years, of course, and written lots and lots of great shows for Northern Sky Theater. And one of them we're going to be bringing back this particular summer.
Yes, that's true. Tongue-in-cheek. And I've been thinking a lot about it, about the time when it was first presented, which was before I'd ever been out here.
That was 1991.
Right. But I realized it was after I had met Fred, and we met in the fall of 1990, and I had been renting some studio space and doing like some demos of piano music. And it was when he was working with Hans in San Francisco recording music. And so we had kind of traded tapes. And that was one of the ways that we kind of were like interested in each other in terms of creativity. And I just kind of put together, oh, and then he went off because he would work at this store, Uncle Ralph's in Berkeley.
Right.
And then he went off the following summer to do Tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah.
In its original form. And I remember when he came back, and that was when we started talking about working together
Right.
on Fishing for the Moon. So then a few years later, when we were talking about doing Tongue-in-cheek again,
Yep.
and I think that he talked about it almost from the first year, like he really loved the show
Yeah.
and wanted to perform it again.
Yeah.
And so it was talked about a lot, and then he got the idea to add original musical numbers because the music in it had mostly been drawn from, I believe, traditional Wisconsin folk songs from his kind of all of his research of both stories, songs, and all sorts of things that became Tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah, that's right. It was kind of a transition show in a way from Heritage Ensemble, which is the predecessor for Northern Sky, into the formation of the new company, which in 1990 was run by Fred, Heidi, and Gerald Pellrine under the name of American Folklore Theater. And Fred and I then came and joined the summer of 1991. And Fred decided that based on the work that they'd been doing in Heritage Ensemble, he really wanted to write a book musical, which had never been presented before. Exactly. And that's not entirely true because Mule for Breakfast in 1990 was a sort of a book musical. So Fred and Gerald were really, and then it was Fred's first book musical. So
Most importantly, it's the first show I saw. So I mean, that's when you really have to start counting.
and that was actually the remount, right? In 97.
No,
Really, 91? Mm-hmm. Oh, no way.
way
Way. You were how old?
8.
Holy
Math.
cats and jammers. Wow, that's amazing. I don't know if I knew that, Katie Dahl.
Well,
There you go.
there you go.
Huh. Were
Go
we
back and
introduced?
rewatch Nerd Night.
Were we introduced?
On that night?
No, any night.
Oh, well, I mean, like not that year, I don't think.
Uh-huh.
But we did. Suzanne Graff did bus our dishes at the White Gull the next morning.
Oh, interesting.
That was the thrill of a lifetime.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, Suzanne. So the original cast was Fred and Suzanne playing the farm couple, and then myself and Doc Heidi and Karen Moll.
Nope, Deb Alden.
Oh, Karen was in the remount, and Deb Alden. Those 5. Right. And Fred wrote it particularly for the company. He was writing 2 people, And that's a tradition that has continued at Northern Sky, where authors such as yourself will sometimes write a character with somebody in mind that is, that you're creating it for, which is, makes it all the more inspirational, right?
Yeah, totally.
So the thing to know about this show is, as James was saying, in 1991, it was performed with all existing music that Fred used to piece this story together. And then in 97, we decided to bring it back, and by that point, he had already collaborated with James on a couple of original musicals, including Fishing for the Moon and Northern Lights. Right? Katie Dahl.
I was ready to jump in if anyone didn't know.
Yeah,
I thought
Matt.
maybe you were going to want to mention Our Night in Frog Station.
Well, I
Also in between.
wasn't clear. Oh, yes, well, I would always want to mention that.
Wait, yeah, and Our Night in Frog Station. And then, of course, Lumberjacks in Love in 1996. So by the time 1997 rolled around, you and Fred were old hands at collaborating with one another. And as you said, Fred wanted to frame the musical a little better, and he asked you to compose music for an opening number and for a closing number.
Yeah.
And we're going to do the opening number.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
This is Before You Know It, It's Love.
Or as I like to call it, Big Black Bear.
Big Black Bear.
Hold on a second. I got to find my guitar pick. All right. All good.
Okay.
Plectrum.
Put your tongue in your cheek, kick your heels in the air. Steal a tub of honey from a big black bear. Steal a tub of honey, shovel with a spoon. Baby so sweet I could swallow the moon. Ooh-wee, seems kinda funny. Teeth start to chatter, nose gets a runny. Knees are a knocking, folks start a talking. Before you know it, it's love.
My dog has a tick, the tick has fleas. The fleas know gals who are easy to please. Easy to please, 'cause all they want to do is buzz, buzz, buzz till the dance is through.
Ooh-wee, seems kinda funny. Teeth start to chatter, nose gets a runny. Knees are a knocking, folks start a talking. Before you know it, it's love.
We'll paddle up river in our itty bitty boat. Without your love, I couldn't stay afloat. Couldn't stay afloat out here on a limb. Make more love, baby, I can't swim.
Ooh-wee, seems kinda funny. All the tricky things you can do without money. Soda is cheap and wooing is free. I could lick a pint of sycamore from a sycamore tree. Ooh-wee, seems kinda funny. Teeth start to chatter, nose gets a runny. Knees are a knocking, folks start a talking. Before you know it, it's love. Before you know it, it's love.
Oh, that's such a delightful song. That kicks it off. Something to know about this show, and really in some ways about everything that we chose to do this summer, is we had to decide on a season before anybody knew that we could have a season. I mean, how crazy is that, right? And what it means is you have to try and play out in your mind all the possible scenarios that might or might not take place. And then you have to put together about 50,000 spreadsheets that detail all of those various scenarios so that you can find out whether or not it actually makes any sense. And then you wait and you wait and you wait. But in the meantime, time ticks, and you can't change course very fast anymore because it's live theater, and it demands that you have all kinds of systems in place well before you start your first day of rehearsal. And those systems include, for even a little theater company like ours, that people think, oh, we're out in the woods, it's magic, it all happens, like that. It doesn't happen like that. It happens with crews, and it happens with designers, and it happens with an intern crew that has to be housed from out of town. And it's all of these dominoes that just have to be perfectly aligned well before you get to the first day of rehearsal. Otherwise, tip, 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 nothing's going to happen. So we decided early on that we had to be as bare bones in some ways as we could be, but as exciting as we could be, because we're a theater company that can customize what it is that we present. And that's exactly what we've decided to do with the 5 shows that we're doing this season. They are all customized for you, for us, for the circumstances that we're in. And that includes Tongue in Cheek, which was written really to be presented as a radio play. So it's absolutely perfect because we don't have to make any compromises at all with a show like that. We're just going to present it like it's meant to be presented. And we've decided that we're going to customize Fisherman's Daughters, which we'll talk about in another segment, Katie's show. And we customized Whatever Happened to Carl Jankel by having it being written for us for these circumstances. And we customized, not even remotely, by having it be a world premiere written in these past few months for us for this particular season. And we're bringing back Naked Radio into the fall, which is only a 3-person show, all self-contained, not changing a thing about it. So it's perfect.
It's perfect. It's going to be perfect. Jimmy, I was wondering I have a few questions about the music that you wrote. Like when you did you write? It's the opener and the closer, right? That got added. Yep. And so when you how did you decide that those were the two to add?
Well, I think that was, just the idea that, that the show is perfect the way it is, and Fred, because of course, he came at it knowing it intimately, and I just trusted him because he's like, yeah, I think it would really benefit from having. I think he wanted it to be a little bit longer and give it, an opening and closing, because that's an easy way to kind of give new material without disturbing the flow of the play itself. Mm-hmm. What's a really funny thing that I've been thinking about as we've been readying these songs, unlike a lot of the stuff that I wrote with Fred, I have no recollection at all of writing these. Like, I don't remember where I was, or, many of them I remember like I was in California, or we were at a particular place, and it could be because at this time I was running the AFT office. Right. It could have, so it could have been literally like because I know I had the piano in the office for a while. Right. But I don't have any memory of of getting the lyrics from him, which I usually I have all these scraps of paper, historical things about other shows, but these I'm guessing he probably handed them to me in the office. Probably. But I just don't remember
it's funny
exactly
about that,
when
James.
I wrote them.
Right. Because I stayed over in that little apartment when we were rehearsing.
Yeah, there was a little apartment behind the...
Yeah. That was the one and only summer from 1991 until this year that I didn't perform on the stage that summer. Yeah, I directed all the shows, and then I had to do some other stuff.
In 1997? Mm-hmm.
That's an interesting thing, too, about Tongue-in-Cheek, because I have both versions, kind of parts of them in my brain, with so much different a flavor with Chris Irwin, of course, bringing his style and charm to it. And it'll be interesting to hear in new voices.
And well, in this year's, so that's the narrator character that you're talking about, who Jeff was in the first year, and Chris Irwin was in the second year. And this year it's Anna Klein, so it'll be a woman for the first time, which is so exciting.
Yeah, that's great.
I think that'll be great. And the rest of the cast is Lacrissa Granberry as Naomi, right?
Yeah.
Dan Clarer as George.
Yeah.
Help me out.
Isaiah Spetz is going to be Doc Johnson.
Right.
And Jamie Mercado is going to be Lorna Thronson.
Right.
I know.
So great.
What's exciting to me about that is all of those youngsters are many of them are about the same age we were when we first did it in 1991, which I think is really exciting. I love the whole idea of the piece getting rejuvenated in that way.
Yeah. And now the other thing, I know that you did not create the title to this show, but can we just talk about the apostrophe and just the n?
Oh, you mean tongue in cheek?
Cheek.
Yeah.
Well, or maybe Jeff too. I'm just interested. I'd like to discuss.
Katie Dahl can't let it go.
So this is
I'm
not
just
really
interested.
math. This is now moving into
no,
the
we're moving
grammar
into
and English.
Moving from arithmetic to writing.
Well,
Arithmetic to writing.
In 1997, that's my favorite AFT program, because the cover was Emmett John's artwork with nothing else.
Oh, that's right.
And I remember, a lot of people not thinking that was, you got to say AFT on there. Everybody knows what it is, but it's really beautiful just to look at. But that one happened to be every word in it was typeset by me.
Right.
For whatever reason, it wasn't handed off to Pete Schuster. I mean, he did all the ads and layout. So typesetters in general, people that do typesetting, hate any kind of weird punctuation, like M dashes and dashes and anything you can. I mean, I have reformed sentences to get rid of that crap so many times. And so I remember having conversations with him, like, exactly what is this? Is it like, is that short for and? Is it
I'm
short
so
for?
glad you can tell us about
What,
the real
you know,
conversation.
I mean, I don't remember any answer except that it ended up being tongue apostrophe n, which I'm presuming that the apostrophe is standing in for the I.
That's correct.
Tongue in cheek.
That's correct.
Right. But then when you abbreviate it, is it T apostrophe N C?
Right.
Or no apostrophe? You
Right.
know, in the T.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
over the years, I've had little marks of all sorts of things, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, it's a topic that makes Katie Dahl apoplectic if it doesn't go her way. So we better be careful.
I'm apostrophically apoplectic.
You are apostrophic.
Well, because if it was tongue, if it was short for and,
Yeah.
then you would need another apostrophe.
I know.
Exactly.
And we were playing around with that for a while, and everybody's like, that doesn't make any sense because the obvious thing is tongue in cheek.
Right.
Nobody ever says tongue and cheek. I mean, what is that? That's like a butcher shop, you know, for.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. 'Cause, you always, if you need some cheek, you go to the butcher shop.
But only if you want tongue with it.
Right.
You got to have the both of them, you know.
Sure. Yeah. So you got your tongue and your cheek.
Katie Dahl, you're up.
Well, that's all. That's really what I wanted to get to. I knew you have to kind of you have to ease your way into the hard questions like that. You have to really establish a rapport with the guests before you can get into the grammar. You know, you can't just spring that on them.
No, don't spring it on them. Don't
Yeah.
spring it on them because you don't know who else might be apostrophically apoplectic.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
here's something
Apparently.
else we can mention on this segment. We have the marketplace that's open now, and
yeah.
I'm sure that Anne will put that on your screen. And one of the things that's in the marketplace is a special item that
Oh, yeah.
tied in with this particular show. Can
That's
you
right.
tell the folks a little about that, Katie Dahl?
Oh, I sure can.
Oh, good.
It's a tongue-in-cheek package, and it's a great assemblage of things that are sort of centered around two of the central themes of the show, which are farms and pancakes. And so there is a visit. Did you say shoot?
I thought it was going to be tongue in cheek
Oh.
from the butcher shop.
No butcher shop. Anne will maybe say in the comments what are the real things, but I'm just going to say what I remember. There is an Al Johnson's gift certificate. There's a trip because of the pancakes. There's a trip to Cajun Acres because of the farms.
Oh.
And there are really a lot of other. There are so many more good things,
So
but
many
they have
more
left
good
my
things.
brain in favor of all the other things that I've been remembering. So, but it's a really great package, and there are packages for each of our shows on this Raise the Curtain Marketplace, which is open until 9:30, and there are some there. It's a really cool. Oh, good. Anne's putting it up there. It's a really cool thing to look at in general. I see Doc Heidi is commenting. I can't see what you're saying, Doc, but I bet you're telling us that there aren't any cows actually milked in the.
I was just
in
going
the
to
show.
ask whether there was,
Yeah.
because I didn't know.
Well, as we were, James, you might enjoy this. As we were working on a little, blurb for the show, a little short description, and as a sort of group of us, and we were going back and forth, and it's all the last time we did this, it was like it's a tale of cows milked, ailments cured, and love lost and found, or something. And Doc is like, there are no cows milked in the show. And we were like, well, but it sets a tone, and one would presume that there were some cows milked.
Yes.
And Doc said, well, I just don't understand. Like, it's a very specific thing. Like, why would we be specifically advertising cows milked of all things when there are no cows actually milked? So we changed it. We took the cows out.
Well, but
No, but what we
presumably-
said was, and no cows are milked instead.
You could have just had an asterisk saying no cows were milked in the production of
Exactly.
this
That's what
show.
we've been doing.
I mean, they did come home. We had to waltz
Yeah, they
until
had-
they
they-
came
they-
home.
right.
That's the closing song of this
Right.
show. You may have heard is "We'll waltz till the last cow
And
comes
we didn't
home."
want people to presume that they were unmilked because that would be
That'd
unhealthy.
be painful for them.
Sure.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
But also, I'm curious. Like there are pancakes now. Even though George's pancakes, I want to mention, were one-sided.
Only got one
Yeah,
side.
They only
one
got
side,
one side.
that's how he got them
but
so thin.
surely, to make the batter, there was some kind of milk, right?
Oh,
There had to be either cows. I mean, that's the most likely milk on a
you
farm.
need a lot of milk to get them so thin.
Definitely.
Yeah, You have
to see a
Putting
thin,
too
thin
much
bit.
milk in is what would make them so
Yeah,
thin.
right.
And even if they
And-
were buttermilk pancakes, same thing.
And they didn't have those, almond milks and soy milks and all
No.
back
Oh God,
then.
no,
Yeah.
no. Dairy
So,
state.
so I think there's
Dairy
milk.
state.
Yeah, there's
Oh,
definitely milk
milk
in this show.
Well, and the other thing about the show is, I mean, Naomi comments on the fact that she sees the barn light on, right? What's he doing out
Oh,
there?
must have left the
Well,
barn. Oh.
yeah, I like to think that he's
milking
milking
the
the cows. Yeah,
Yes,
Yeah.
one must think so.
sure. That's the most satisfying.
Yeah, it's
answer.
like what
Yeah.
is that? What is that? Is it Occam's razor or whatever? You know,
Right.
you
Right.
take
If
the.
the simple, all things,
this-
all other
all-
things being equal,
Yep.
the simplest explanation
That's
is the
correct.
best explanation.
That's right. Occam's razor applies for cows being milked off stage in tongue cheek.
Cheek. Now I have a fear that like nobody actually might know anything about the show itself after this segment. So let's just say George and Naomi are the central characters. George doesn't like working. Naomi feels frustrated. George, and then there's this sort of snake oil salesman doctor who has a lot of liniments and tinctures and
yep,
stuff.
yep.
And he is trying to woo Lorna, this sort of indecisive young woman.
But independent, and
Independent.
she's not taking any of his guff.
Right, that's right. She won't. And then there's a narrator, and it's all a little bit like Fred was very inspired by Garrison Keillor, right?
Prairie Home
It's a very
Companion.
Prairie
You know
Home
what we did at
Companion-y.
rehearsal?
You listen. You lay down on the ground and you listen to Prairie Home Companion. I ruined. That's not how show is supposed to go. What'd you do at rehearsal, Jeff?
Exactly that.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Now, I feel that a need to speak up for George and perhaps for Fred and say that it's not that he didn't want to work or didn't like work. It was the rheumatiz.
It was the
Oh
rheumatiz.
yeah, yeah, the rheumatiz.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why he needed the the liniment.
Yeah.
Not
Right.
the snake oil. He needed the liniment from the doc.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, take
You
care
know,
of the
and
liniment.
I
Gotta
remember
go see Doc
there's
about
a
a
song
cure.
about, if I do Wednesday's dishes on
Thursday.
Friday, then, a whole thing of kind
Oh,
of
yeah.
delaying it wasn't that he wasn't willing to work, just maybe not in as timely a fashion.
Right.
Well, I mean,
know.
and he preferred housework. I mean, that's the whole point of the whole point of that song.
Not farm work.
Well, it was
Farm
the lesser of
housework
two
is-
evils.
Right. If I was to something the worst of two evils, I'd rather scrub dishes than follow a plow.
That's right.
Boom.
Boom.
Yeah.
Cowbell.
Cowbell.
Yeah.
Off of the neck of a milked cow.
Oh, have you worked out yet who's going to play the cowbell?
I have
This year?
not. I have not.
Yeah.
I think that has to be bestowed on somebody who earns it. So we haven't gotten
I
to
hope
the
you're
merit
listening
test
out
yet.
there, company members.
Although I did, Andrew Crowe is going
That's
to
why
be.
I was going to say we should mention Andrew Crowe.
Oh yeah, Andrew Crowe is going to be our musical director and arranger for the show this year, and he's also going to play all of the performances. And Andrew is an extraordinary instrumentalist and a great guy. And Jimmy, you happened in this pandemic to meet him, sort of outside of any knowledge of his eventual.
Well,
yes?
no, it was
Oh.
because early in the planning for last season, which feels like 5-6 years ago.
Yes.
You had written to me and gave me his name
Oh.
because he was going to work on
Oh,
the
right.
music for what were
Fishing
we
for the
gonna do?
Moon.
Fishing for the Moon last year.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
And so I made contact with him, and I don't, just in that sort of musicianly way, we immediately kind of hit it off, and we're gabbing back and forth about, interesting people we both knew, and I was really excited about kind of seeing what kind of ideas he might bring to the music and all, and then this thing happened with a virus.
Yep.
And
Know a little bit about it.
but then a little bit later, he had posted something on Facebook about a song he was working on, and he needed like a choir at the end.
Right. That's right.
And he gave specifics about, if you download this, listen to this, and then sing a harmony part to this part. And so I was like at home doing nothing. I was like, okay, I'll do that.
Yeah.
And I sent it in to him, and Kay likes to believe that she can hear when I'm come in.
Oh, good.
But I don't really know if that's true. There's a lot of people singing.
Doesn't matter.
But he did use it, yeah.
Yeah, it's like
And
Dorothy Parker always said, "Oh, that's just a true story."
Right, exactly, yeah. And it's called The Laundry's Done. And it's available on all your musical,
good.
Apple Music, Spotify.
Well, you can have a little taste of Andrew Crowe before you get to see
Yeah.
him this summer at Northern Sky, and he will be with us not only in the summer. He'll be in the Fisherman's Daughters band ensemble, and then he'll be in Tongue in Cheek, and then he's going to switch gears and he's going to come over here to the Gould and be in Naked Radio, which he did the very first workshop of, and then he became unavailable for the production. So we switched gears, but now Andrew is available, and we're going to switch gears back again. So it's going to be great.
Yep.
Yay.
Yeah, Andrew.
So, team, we
What
are going to be
time is
back at it's time to be it's 12:30.
Oh.
So we're going to be back though every hour on the hour through 5 o'clock, and then at 6 o'clock is Northern Sky Fashion Spy with LaCrissa Granberry and Doug Clemens, and then at 7 we are premiering, not even remotely, our world premiere musical is premiering tonight virtually at 7 o'clock, and afterward there's an after party. So you definitely should come tonight. It's an amazing, wonderful show that you are going to love.
And you can purchase those tickets up until 5 o'clock tonight.
That's right. Exactly. But why wait? Just do it
don't
right now.
Wait, because that also helps us get to the match.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Because remember, 5 equals 15. So it's all very exciting. And then at 9:30 we'll be back again to sing another song from this show. But who's up next is at 1 o'clock. Come back and see Chase Stager and Molly Rohde talk to you about Naked Radio.
Yay!
Woo! Okay, now we're gonna
Play us out, James.
play us out.
Jeff and Katie Show.
The Katie and Jeff Show.
Jeff and Katie Show.
The Katie and Jeff Show. Commutable,
Refutable.
disputable.
Delusional.
No matter what, we know that you'll be watching. The Jeff and Katie Show.
Math!
Yay! Thanks, James.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.